Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the MetaStellar YouTube channel. My name is Maria KOROLOV, and I'm the editor here at MetaStellar. And I'm here to tell you that today's top-selling free speculative fiction book on Amazon is a story of a girl getting a flying lesson from her father, but while they're up in the airplane, an EMP event takes out all their electronics and that of a passenger jet that's about to crash into them. But before we get to that, we have 9 other books to talk about. You see, every Friday, the team here at MetaStellar reads the first few chapters of every book on Amazon's top 10 list. Today, I was helped out by marketing assistant Lilibet Dominguez-Torres, assistant fiction editor Terrence Smith, community members Alex KOROLOV, Tim McHugh, Lou Lyons, and Alex Mueller. And Terrence is here with us today. Hi, Terrence.
Hello.
All right. The
Finally
link to...
have a ring light.
Yeah,
because Maria wouldn't stop nagging me about it.
Yes, we want to see your face. All right, the link to the article and to all the books is in the description box below. We're only going to summarize our reviews. If you want to read the whole thing at length, go through the article. But the show will be way too long otherwise if we went into all the detail. For those who are new, MetaStellar is an online magazine of speculative fiction. All the content is always free to our readers. We publish original short fiction, reprints, excerpts, essays, and lots of book reviews. We're able to do this and keep our content completely free thanks to our Patreon supporters. Our first anthology is out with all the best stories from our first year of publication, and our second anthology is currently going through its final edits. So keep an eye out for that. It will be out soon. Whew. All right, let's get started. Okay, this is book number 10. I'm going to make it bigger for you guys so you can see it. This is Make Yourself by D.R. Perry, the first of 9 books in the Messing Psychic Academy urban fantasy series. The other books are $4 each, and they're all in Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited, if you don't know, is where you pay $12 a month and you read all the books you want. It's like the Netflix for books if you have an Amazon Kindle. The 9th book in this series isn't out yet, but it will be released next month and is available for pre-order. So this is a paranormal fantasy, and I tried it. I don't really like books that are set in schools. However, the writing and world building about psychics and magical creatures is very well done. Fans of this genre may enjoy it, and I may come back to it. It doesn't have too much drama, and I really liked the characters in it. Next, we have a book that Terrence read, Harbinger of the Storm by Elle Wolfson. The first of 2 books in the Dragons of the Storm urban fantasy series. The other book is $4 and is not in Kindle Unlimited. So, Terrence, what did you think of that book?
Basically, I thought it was fairly interesting. The basic premise is that there are these people with supernatural abilities called Twisted, which is similar to, let's say, mutants and the X-Men comics and the Marvel universe. It follows one Twisted named Vinny, who is with this collective of Twisted called the Dragons. And basically what's going to happen in this story is that Vinny is going to have to track down a serial killer who will end up being a threat to not only herself, but also her found family. And one thing that hit me early on in the story is that there's going to be some moral ambiguity in the story. They tracked down this man who is involved with this human trafficking thing, and he also has a wife and 2 daughters as well. And so the members of the dragons are figuring out, okay, should we kill them? Should we not kill him? This guy knows who we are. He's a danger to us. And Benny was struggling with this. She kept trying to tell them, no, don't kill them. And what they end up deciding on is like wiping his brain, essentially turning him into a vegetable, which is also a really terrible option. And although Vinny agrees to it, she doesn't feel right about it either, because while this guy is also a monster, he's also thinking about his family as well. So this is a world of some very gray areas. And while I'm not likely to continue reading it, actually, maybe I will continue reading it. I'm interested enough, let's say, and it's will be on my to read section with 1,000 other books that I bought and have not yet read. But it should be something that's at least worth checking out. Just read the first 2 chapters. If you like it, great, keep reading it. And if not, that's totally fine as well.
All right, next we have number 8, Twisted and Eerie Tales, Sinister Tales by Stan Hendriks, the second of 2 books in a Twisted and Eerie Tales short story collections. The other book is 99¢, but it is in Kindle Unlimited. So Tim read this one for us, and he says that it's an interesting format. There's interconnected stories that are all told by a single mysterious guy. But for him, he finds the writing a little clunky and repetitive. He says it's a cool idea, but it was tough for him to get past the execution here. But he says that it could be a good read for somebody who likes the genre and is interested in reading some shorter horror fiction. Next, we have Sea Serpent by Geneva Monroe. Let me make that bigger for you guys so you can see it. There you go, Sea Serpent. The first of 2 books in the Sun Serpent saga of epic fantasy series. So the other book is $5 and it's not in Kindle Unlimited. I'm an epic fantasy fan. I'm definitely the target for this one. Great world building and really compelling characters. I really enjoyed it. It starts out with a guy with magical powers being assassinated in his own bedroom by another guy with magical powers. There's a little magical duel going on, and it's the person he least suspects. And then we meet Alira, who can also do magic, and she's a member of a circus troupe traveling around this fantasy world. And she doesn't think that anybody has any magic like hers, because she has fire magic. It is actually, I really like the characters. I really liked the relationship between Illyria and her friends in the circus troupe. And I love the world building here. And I might stick with it this weekend. All right, next we have a book that Lilibet read, Dead as a Dodo by Jeannie Wycherley. The first of 6 books in the Wonderland Detective Agency Paranormal Cozy Mystery series. The other books are $5 each, but they're all in Kindle Unlimited. And it's about Elise, who used to be a detective at the Ministry of Witches Police Department. And she left after her mentor and best friend died while in the field with her. So she's been struggling with drinking and eating fast food and takeout. But then one day she's drinking in a random bar and a strange man approaches her. And he's asking for her help. Something called the wizard Dodo had been murdered, and he wants her to investigate what happened. So she calls the cops, and he disappears. Maybe he's got something to hide. And when her former coworkers get there, they tell her to stay away from the case, and she should get her life together so she can get back on the force. Lilivette says she enjoyed everything about this book. She liked the fun and cozy magical mystery. She enjoyed the writing style and the pacing, and she says she can't wait to continue reading this. All right, next we have her Werewolf Bodyguard by Jodi Vaughn, the first of 8 books in the Werewolf Guardian romance series of paranormal romance. The other books are $3 to $7 each, and they're not in Kindle Unlimited. The author has been on our list before. I'm not the target reader for this book. I don't like books with naked male chests on them or anything romantic because I have a cold heart. But
yes,
hey, you never know.
I know this woman. She loves seeing
Yeah.
people get murdered.
Yes, I
in
do.
books,
I
of
do
course.
enjoy that very much. Yes. So anyway, we start out with Damon. He's standing next to his Harley Davidson motorcycle outside a seedy bar. So maybe he'll get murdered. So he's tracking another werewolf who's risking outing the shifters to the world for easy drug money. And then he gets a call from his boss and says, no, we have another assignment for you, something more urgent. A female werewolf's been kidnapped, and he's the only one who can go and get her back. And then we switch the point of view of this female werewolf who's about to be raped by 45 creepy bad werewolves. So, you know what? It's cheesy, but it was extremely readable. I kind of want to see if he's going to be able to rescue her and what happens after. I don't know if I'll keep reading, maybe 5 times this weekend. Next, we have Familiar Spirits by Sara Christene, the first of 7 books in the Twilight Hollow witchy cozy mysteries. The other books are $3 to $4 each, but they're not on Kindle Unlimited. I love cozy magical mysteries. I loved everything about this book. It starts out at a cafe. Adelaide is the owner. She walks home from work because she only lives 4 blocks away because it's a tiny town. Everyone's 4 blocks away from each other. As she's carrying a bunch of books home, she comes across a lost cat. She picks up the cat, and then she stumbles across a dead body, and it's somebody she knows. And then a hot homicide cop comes because she calls the police because she's not an idiot. And he's extremely attractive. And then the next day, her sister comes over, and her sister has magical powers. Adelaide is a bad witch. She wants to have magical powers, but she's not very good at it. But her sister is good at it, and her sister tells her future that she tells her that Adelaide is going to be the one to solve the murder. And this was so cozy. Everything about this book was cozy and cute. I loved it, and I'll probably continue reading it. This is on the top of my reading list for this weekend. Next, we have a book that 2 of our volunteers did, Dropstone by A.R. Knight, read by Alex Mueller and Lou Lyons. This is the first of 7 books in the Sever Squad sci-fi action series. The other books are $3 each, and they're not in Kindle Unlimited. The author has been on our list before. So Alex Mueller says it's a science fiction action story in a compelling world with compelling characters. And he says, who doesn't want to read a book about space commandos working for an interstellar private security company? And it begins with the Sever Squad's commander knocking a guy's lights out for the crime of mispronouncing her name. That is a badass way to introduce a character. I agree with Alex about that. And so we learn more about this team, and their first mission is to land on a backwater planet, rescue a client, and earn some sweet, sweet money. So he says that he's going to stick with the book. It says, there's nothing that can go wrong with this premise. But he said that sarcastically. So, because of course, obviously, lots of things will go wrong for this crew. Lou Lyons also read this. And she says that the chapters are short and move quickly, but they switched from two different points of view characters. And so she's worried that it's going to be harder to connect with the characters if you're switching between them. And this could slow the story down. And it makes it feel a little choppy. So she says that she isn't going to stick with it. But I might check it out because that is the kind of story that I like. All right, next we have Lost in Limbo, a box set of the first 3 books in a 7-book Lena Harvey Reapers Inc. urban fantasy series by Angela Roquet. I love urban fantasy and I love kick-ass female protagonists. So I was all in on this and I love the premise of this. If you've ever watched a show about good Grim Reapers like Dead Like Me, this is kind of like that. So Lana, the protagonist, is a Grim Reaper who takes people to where they're supposed to go in the afterlife. And the world building here is awesome. Everybody goes to the afterlife that they're the best fit for based on their beliefs and how they live their life. And she has bought a boat from a demon and with her partner, another Reaper. And the 2 of them take the souls to their respective afterlives. And so the book starts at a funeral. The guy who's dead is there and gloating about the fact that he destroyed all his assets before his cheating widow could get her hands on them. So she decides to take him to Nirvana because he's a suicide. He doesn't qualify for heaven. And Nirvana has looser rules that maybe that she can skirt a little bit. That way he can have a nice break before he's reborn again. So she's got a bunch of other souls to take to heaven, to Nirvana, and to Summerland. And she also are taking a drunk angel, giving a ride to a drunk archangel to make money on the side. And her business partner is annoyed about all her shenanigans, taking somebody who's not supposed to go and giving rides to archangels. She's worried that they're going to lose their boat. So I love the world building here. I love this depiction of the afterlife. I love the characters. I love all the bureaucratic logistics of how to get
of course,
where they're supposed to
bureaucracy.
go. I love bureaucracies in fantasy settings.
You should play Grim Fandango then.
I love this book and I am going to be sticking with it.
Okay, for those who... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, couple of things. First off, I did look at this, the first book in the series a long time ago, and I was really into it then. So when I saw that it was free, I just immediately went to click. And second, Grim Fandango, it's a point and click adventure game created by Lucas Arts that follows the Grim Reaper, and it's just like, it's a very kind of tongue-in-cheek take on the afterlife that might be worth looking at if you're into this type of premise.
I love that premise. For those of you who don't know, Terrence is a video game reviewer for Game Rant. So yeah, he knows his video games. Maybe we should like do best video games or something series.
Ah.
All right. Before we go on to book number 1, I want to thank our Patreon supporters. And they're up on the screen here next to me. They include Marie Leclerc, Humphrey Price, Alexander KOROLOV, Avery Parks, Terrence Smith. Thanks, Terrence. Brad Center, David Perlmutter, Melody Friedenthal, Anastasia Korolov, and Amira Lutfi. Thanks, you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. If you want to join them in supporting our channel and our magazine, because we're able to publish short fiction because of their support. All the links in the description box below. And now let's get to book number 1, today's top selling free science fiction and fantasy book on Amazon. Okay, where did it go?
Do not adjust yourself.
Huh. Did my background just disappear?
Apparently so.
There we go.
You turned it off and on again.
No, I accidentally hit I have a green screen button when I was trying to hit the mirror my video button. Because you can't read text on Zoom if you've got the video mirrored. But anyway, The Long Road Home by Clay Wise is a standalone book of EMP survival. So an EMP is electromagnetic pulse. It's caused by nuclear bombs or solar flares or weather events or EMP generators. There's a gun you can buy that sends an EMP signal, and it kills electronics and doesn't touch anything else, like humans, animals, plants, buildings, totally untouched. The only thing it kills is electronics. These books are super popular. Oh my God, so popular. There's an EMP book on our list nearly every week.
I have a theory.
I think it's like a fantasy that we all have, that all our electronics will disappear and we just have to, like, you know, interact with each other as humans. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's my thought as well. I think it's kind of like a reaction to the oversaturation of screens and technology in our everyday lives.
Oh, that could be an explanation, yeah. Or it could be that people are totally into the survivalist thing, and they've like saved up like millions of dollars worth of canned beans, and they're like, they want to justify this somehow. And maybe if an EMP blast kills everyone's electronics, their beans will be worth something. But anyway, so Alex Korolov read this one because he loves these EMP books. And he has reviewed so many of these books for us, probably dozens at this point. And he says this is his favorite beginning of all the books he's read. So it starts out with Lydia, who's a girl flying in a small Cessna airplane with her father. She's getting a flying lesson. Suddenly their EMP hits and all the power goes out. And there's a passenger jet nearby that's also lost power. It almost crashes into them as it crash lands near them. And Lydia and her dad have to make an emergency landing in a field. Then Lydia's dad is fatally wounded in a crash. He tells her to grab the bow, gun, and first aid kit that are in the plane and to go look for help. And she watches her dad die, and then she heads off on her journey. Alex says it had a great action-packed beginning, and it's a different take on the EMP thing, the one he's read before. It's the first one that started with a plane crash that involved the main character. He said it's a fun read. All right, so there you go. Those are our books for this week. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe, like, comment, share. And we also have a newsletter that comes out every Friday afternoon. So if you don't want to miss our top 10 free Amazon sci-fi and fantasy bestsellers, sign up for that and you'll get that list in your email every Friday afternoon. And of course, check out the magazine. Read all the short fiction that we publish every week. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining us here today. Terrence, thanks for helping me out. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, I hope everybody has a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.